Hey everyone, Mike and Dave here, and today we're going to talk about being healthy at Disney. Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Welcome. Mike and I are here today at the Jumbo House.
Jumbo, everyone.
Jumbo, and welcome to Jumbo House.
Yes.
Today, among many things, we'll share with you our journeys this morning.
Yes.
And how that went, but also how to stay healthy in Disney, especially
or try to.
Especially when you're living there, right? When you're spending so much time in the area. Something you have to build into your day-to-day. So something to consider. Let's get us started. Mike, you want to talk about how this morning went?
Sure, this morning was a great morning. We went to Typhoon Lagoon. It was raining for most of it. David and I were definitely feeling the cold rain there, but it was a fun morning. You know, I feel like water parks are good when it is raining because not as many people are there and you're wet anyways, so it's all good. But it was overall really nice to be there, and I'm looking forward to going back when it's really hot too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, totally agreed. It was interesting, right? Going there, being there in the rain. The rain was quite cold this morning, so that was tricky. But it was nice to be out there, and it was pretty quiet. Had the opportunity to go on a new ride, Miss
Adventure Falls.
Miss Adventure Falls. That was a great one. I liked the theming of that ride. But also, the topic we want to address here is how to stay healthy, how to be healthy, how to eat healthy while
that's your topic.
At Disney.
I'm bad at that.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of components to consider. I know people have asked, exercise, right? How are you going to get your exercise in? And there is something to be said. I'm giving you credit for this one. Something to be said for, you get your steps in your day-to-day just walking around the park. Right?
So if you walk around enough,
right?
And I feel like I do, but and you do too.
Yeah.
But you got to walk around enough to make that worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And the way that we go around the parks, right? We're constantly walking. Like, what's the next thing? Just keep moving. Maybe that's a new resident thing, if you will. Right? Something that we'll shake the habit of. But it seems like always walking around.
Yes.
And so that adds to the miles for us. Another suggestion, another thought, at least that I have, is two things. One is to drink enough water.
Oh yes.
I think drinking water is a huge thing because that's you feel like you're hungry when in reality. You feel like, and the reality is you need water, right? You're just dehydrated. You agree with that?
I fully agree with that.
That's something that I feel like is that something you re-experience every time? Like you're like, oh, I'm surprised at like how much water it makes me feel like.
I'm getting used to it though. I feel like it's becoming more normal thanks to you. I'm learning that you need that much water and when you're sweating out so much and you're in Florida and humidity, you need a lot of water. Especially in the heat, especially in the humidity, especially when you're walking that many miles.
You definitely need that much water.
No question.
Yeah. Another thing for me is the dessert thing. And I feel like I like to get dessert. This may not be everybody's favorite topic. We'll see what people think. Let us know what you think. I feel like, it's good to get desserts, but I try to only get the special ones or the worthwhile ones. So I try not to go back and have too many desserts, whether it's at home or that sort of thing. Save up the desserts for being here. And also, just try to have the best ones of the area, So if I'm like, well, I could get a dessert here at a particular meal. I feel like I'm a little bit more of a critic in terms of, will I get a dessert with this meal? Well, it's not as good as somewhere else.
I mean, especially in some dining venues where you're going to go to the specific dessert venue afterwards, I totally see that.
Right. Another option I like, and I know we've kind of discussed this, is when we want to try a dessert, but we may not feel like we necessarily need an entire dessert, we'll split a dessert.
Right. That's a great part.
Right. And I feel like especially for me, that seems like such a great idea because it allows you to try something new that you haven't tried before, determine if it's something that you like and you want to go back for in the future, and at the same time, you don't have to eat too much of it because we're splitting it.
Right.
Yeah. So another great suggestion there as well. Mike, your thoughts on additional ways to stay healthy and to stay energized at Disney?
So water is very important, as you mentioned, but I like coffee too. Coffee's a big part of that. Make sure you're eating properly. So to me, it's like you don't want to eat too much or too little because then you'll be tired. I feel like we need to eat now, but we have reservations, or trying not to, trying to save our appetites. So it's a balance. You got to keep that healthy balance. Make sure you take time to rest your feet, like these moments are very, very good for that, where you can sit back, relax in the chair and just be comfy, and that helps re-energize you quite a bit. But I definitely am a coffee fan. Not like coffee, like I don't drink like regular coffee. For me, it's mostly sugar and coffee, or sugar and cream and the taste of coffee slightly. Yeah. That's mostly me, but I know myself, everybody's got their own way, and it just comes down to what you like best and what works for you.
Right. Another thought, I think we've discussed this a little bit as well, is we haven't been worrying so much about catching the park openings.
Oh yeah.
Right? We've been taking our time, not worrying about setting alarms, right? Getting up when it feels right.
Right.
Just natural. Making
that
sure
has been so nice.
Yeah. So getting a reasonable amount of sleep and being here, right, being so close, makes it that much easier, right?
Yes.
I feel like if you were vacationing, it would be harder to say, well, I'm going to sleep through park opening because I need it.
Right.
You're more likely to say, I'll take care of that when I get home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess it's a question of like, what is that threshold, right? Like, for how long does one need to be here before one decides, all right, like I need to make sure I'm getting my sleep?
For me, it's, I don't know, a month and a half. It's a long time, I'm sure, for me. But I'm kind of a unique case. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tricky, especially when you first get here. It's tempting to be in the parks all the time, but I feel like you have to sort of take a step back and think about it, and say to yourself, okay, what would be? There's a bee right by my hand right there. I'm like freaking out right now. Oh God, it's like in my ear.
No,
it's like in my ear. Oh gosh. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh, he's by the camera.
Yeah, he's by the camera. He's about to sit on it. All right.
Go away, Mr.
All right,
B.
folks. All right.
You're done.
In terms of, it can take some getting used to. In terms of, to stay energized, water parks. Do you like to do, oops, thank you for that. Do you like to do your water parks first thing in the morning, at the end of the day, on the weekends, on the weekdays? What do you think is the best way to integrate your water park fun?
So far from how I've experienced it, I really did enjoy the morning. Oh, excuse me. But as you can tell, it does take something out of you too when you're out in the early morning and all that. So for me, I do like the early morning, but afternoons are nice too. You don't get as much time in the afternoons. So that's why you have to reprioritize in the afternoons, in my opinion. But yeah, early mornings I think is what my favorite time for water parks is. How about you?
Yeah, I like, but honestly, I've liked both the experiences we've had. I like the idea of the early morning thing. I think I'd like it even better without the rain in the future. A little chilly for me that way. And I like the afternoon adventure as well. I think being able to go for an hour or 2 hours, relax in lazy river, and not have to worry about running around, going on all the rides, because you can always come back. I feel like that's kind of energizing because it's relaxing.
Oh yeah.
And it's also true in that if you're going first thing in the morning or near the end of the day, it's also not as sunny, which doesn't take as much energy to be out in the water, out in the middle of the sun in that middle of the day.
Totally true.
Yeah.
Totally true. And you can end it in the middle of the day, which is also nice. You don't have to stay there the whole day, which is not big, because we left after a couple hours, we were done.
Right.
That's totally okay, because annual pass, you're there and no problem.
Yeah.
And not having a locker helps a lot with that.
For sure. I think coming up with sustainable solutions for, if you're in the area and you're trying to spend a lot of time at Disney, which makes sense, or at any theme park, to be able to come up with ways to go to that theme park that makes sense for an hour, or to do every day, or if the rain cancels your plans, right? That's something we talked about a lot. Is well, what happens if we get rained out here? What does this locker make sense for an hour?
Right. It's so true.
So that's another reason why I think having that accessibility makes it easier to go in a healthier fashion for a shorter period of time, or that sort of thing.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely. Whew. Getting tired?
I am. I'm getting a little tired, but that's because we were out early in the morning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Need coffee or water.
That makes sense. Fun plans for the rest of the day.
Rest of the day, we have reservations at the one, the only Yak and Yeti at Animal Kingdom, and hope to experience Animal Kingdom as well with some low light photography. Still testing out my new camera. Not sure if I'm going to keep it because the autofocus, you'll learn more about that soon, but just testing, doing a lot of fun things, seeing more of the parks at night at an even slower pace.
Yeah.
Like the even slower pace.
It's true. I still haven't seen the We Are One show at Animal Kingdom.
That's true, you haven't.
Think about it. We haven't yet been on Kilimanjaro safaris.
True.
I'm looking forward to that. And Yak and Yeti, we have not been this trip as well.
Right, this trip.
So there are so many things I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm going to try as well. We'll see how it looks. But Navi River Journey,
Yes.
with my camera here, I haven't had the opportunity to experience it and to record it with this camera.
Yes, yes.
I really loved that ride.
It's a great one. You're saying between Flight of Passage and Navi River Journey?
They're both really good. Sure, if you want to compare the two, go ahead and compare the two.
Okay, all right. I mean, I prefer Flight of Passage.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to experience Flight of Passage again.
Okay.
I would tend to agree with you in that I think I'd prefer Flight of Passage.
Okay.
But I think that Navi River Journey might be better for a certain type of crowd, right? So if you feel like you like the more calm, relaxed rides, you know, darker rides, you don't like the more intense drops or virtual reality effects, then you may prefer the Navi River Journey. But for a dark ride, if you will, for a relaxed ride with just sort of things to see in that boat, I find it to be one of the most amazing dark rides that there is.
it's a great one. It really, a new appreciation for it for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about it?
The effects, you know, the bioluminescent all around you. It's a new appreciation of it when you're not, you know, thinking about the length of the ride, thinking about how much time things are taking. You get to a new appreciation of it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's really amazing too if you look at some of the avatars that are in that ride. I thought that was amazing.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that character sitting there, you know, talking to you,
Yes.
it's really an amazing effect.
Yeah, she does a great job. The Shaman of Songs.
Yeah.
That's her name. Amazing animatronic.
Yeah, so the animatronics definitely, I feel like they've improved too. It's like,
Tremendously.
Yep.
Wait till we see Hondo. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
oh,
Remember Hondo?
yeah, that's exciting. I wonder how it'll compare.
Yeah,
We'll
it'll be
find
fun.
out. We'll find out really soon,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. The first thing that comes to mind for me when I'm thinking of Navi River Journey is I'm comparing it to Small World. And I'm like, if you look at the animatronic difference there, I feel like there's a very, you know, wide gap, if you will.
Fascinating thought. I had never compared it to Small World before,
Right.
but good thought.
Yeah, you're in a river, you're watching things go by. It's similar, kind of like Dark Ride, if you will.
Yeah, good thought.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for being a part of it with us, everyone. Looking forward to sharing more fun adventures with you here real soon. Until next time,
Have a magical day.
and game on. Thanks.